Well, for more on this story, we cross now to my colleague Maageketla Mohlabe. Maageketla, obviously the community there must just be so fed up.
Yeah, absolutely, Nombu. But what you see over that roof there is the popular Madala hostel. The story of that hostel is quite long, but just to put it short, that hostel, the people that live in there were supposed to be moved out, according to what we are getting on the ground here. They were supposed to be moved out to make a way for a project. In other ways, that particular hostel was supposed to be demolished in order for it to be rebuilt. Now, we are on top of an unfinished roof. This is where the people right there were supposed to be brought here. So to speak, perhaps we are on the tip of the iceberg of the allegations of corruption. What you see here is an unfinished building. And of course, because of the impatience of the residents here, they've decided to build inside these rooms here. So what they are saying is that they cannot wait any longer. We understand that this particular project here has started in 2011, but then it stopped somehow in 2012. Ever since then, there hasn't been any word from officials in terms of when exactly they're going to come back to continue with the building. Now, it's going to be quite a challenge, of course, if ever they're going to come back here to rebuild, because obviously they will have to take these people out of this unfinished structure and accommodate them somewhere else. But so let's just get a word from the ground here, Nombu, in terms of why they had to do this. And one of the gentlemen here, Kelimpilo, thanks so much for your time, my brother. You decided to build here, inside this unfinished structure. Why?
Ngibingelele khosini into yenza ukuthi kwakhiwe kule ndawo lena ingoba sesiside isikhathi zicelwa izindlu lo sithenjiswa kuthiwa zizwakhiwa kodwa amavoti ethu ayathathwa sivote kungakhiwa sivote sithenjiswe ukuthi ziyeza izindlu sithenjiswe namathuba omsebenzi yonke into kungenzeki kodwa sezathatha isinqumo sokuthi thina la ngoba sibona ispace esinganalo khunjana esingana sakhiwe sesihlala isikhathi eside from 2011 until 2012 ngo-2012 sihlalile until 2019 ngoba sekuthatha isinqumo sokuthi singabahlali bala Alexandra ngoba nje sibona ispace sifuna izindlu singenandawo kade nobaba beyifuna indawo la sebehlala isikhathi eside abanye abasekwabi abikho la eGoli sebahamba sezisinqwabelene endlini yikho sikuzothatha isinqumo sokuthi makwakhiwe kule ndawo yakhona la eAlex bema ngamali ukuthi ngoba nakusesakhela ingoba kukanjani ngoba siswele indawo sisinqwabelene sibaningi ayikho into esingayenza futhi nathi.
Overcrowding, and of course that's what you're actually mentioning. You're also mentioning the fact that there have been promises, but those promises have turned to be empty promises, despite you having to go out there, stand in the long queues to put your cross during the voting period. And of course, promises have been coming through for you to get some proper housing, of course, but that has never really happened. So where to from here? I understand that this was part of the Alex Renewal Project. Where to from here? You only started building this last year, right? From last year in 2019.
Yes.
Where to from here? What's going to happen? What if this particular contractor comes to say they want to continue with this particular structure? What are you going to do?
Okwenzeke ngakhuluma nje kwafika la abantu abangamaphoyisa balukhunjana bathi bazama ukukhuluma nathi masizokwakha la basitshela ukuthi le ndawo le akusiyo indawo ekumele ngakha kuyo kwakhulunywa kwakhona nama-members akhona la ngoba kunama-member khona vele la ikomiti laselikhethiwe ukuthi ilona liyosimela la sikhulumela nabo ukuthi sakhala ukuthi ngoba sakha ngobuxhwanguxhwangu ngoba siswele izindawo kwakhulunywa nabo bayihambisa incwadi zabuye ezinye noma kunye engasakhumbuli konke kodwa phela kodwa kukhona incwadi ezayiphumile vele ngoba sasikade singabantu abakhona vele la ngoba sisebenzisuke sikhona okunye kwenzeka sikhona la.
Of course, saying that police, of course, would actually come through, trying to speak to them in order for them not to build here. But of course, papers had to actually be submitted in order for them to get better housing. But obviously, without any positive response, they didn't have any choice but to stay here. One of the guys here is a student at the Central Johannesburg College, just to get to understand how difficult or easy is it to live in a shack as a student? Just tell me a story.
I've got a big problem because I may be challenged living on the shacks. During the rainfall, my books were gonna be damaged with rains. And at the same time, it's not safety as the army students who are living here, where the development or the construction must be built as the house. Then, so it had been a long time. We are waiting as a member of the community to get this house. So the decision as we are here and build here is that we don't have a house, then we need the living, but still we were much time waiting, but no change. And the promises that we have been made before, they didn't happen. That is why we take the decision to make the house there. And at the same time, even the departments, maybe department of housing come and talk with us here as a community. We will tell them where we're gonna go, because that's where we are staying and nowhere we can go.
There's nowhere we can go, and that's the general message coming through from Alexandra Nompu. And I mean, that's the story of Alexandra in all. A forgotten corner of Alexandra, and that's what we've seen throughout the stories that we've been covering throughout that particular protest, total shutdown in Alexandra. We know that a lot of issues were raised there, from the mushrooming of shacks that continue unabated, and of course to the bylaws that continue not to be effected here in Alexandra. But from what we understand is that, I mean, these are some of the issues that will continue to take center stage in the inquiry by two Chapter 9 institutions, that is the Public Protector as well as the Human Rights Commission in Alexandra. And we understand that, as you heard in that insert, that report is expected to be released in June, but a few months before that, in April, that particular hearing will resume. So we are expecting more to come out from that particular hearing, Nombu, in as far as the allegations of corruption, malfeasance, as well as wrongdoing are concerned in the Alex Renewal Project.
But Maageketla, does the community have the patience to wait for June? I mean, earlier you spoke to the gentleman who was part of the community, who said that people are beginning to talk about perhaps doing another shutdown protest. Do you think they have the patience to wait for that report? Because you get the report and then you get the hopeful implementation thereafter, which is another year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's no sign of patience in Alexandra in totality. I mean, you're talking about empty promises that they are talking about here, and that's what we are hearing from the ground. Officials keep on saying, we will be coming this year to continue with these structures, to continue building these structures. But then a year would pass by without anyone, without any sign of a contractor on the ground. And let's not forget that the Alex Renewal Project is not the only one that actually has got all those allegations of corruption. We had other projects, for example, even before 2001, when that Alex Renewal Project was launched, we had a project called Far East Bank project. We understand that some of the contractors are still waiting for payments. In fact, they are telling me that it was just last year in 2019 when they got 25% of what they were owed since 1996. And obviously they are saying that they've actually lost hope in this government, and they are saying that they were told to actually approach their lawyers, in fact, if they want to get their monies. But at this stage, it's just hopelessness in Alexandra. And you speak to some of the elderly people as well, they would tell you that they've been voting since 1994, hoping for a better life here in Alexandra. But when you drive around, I mean, pile up of rubbish almost every corner in Alexandra, you see them sharing one shack with more than 7 siblings. And that's a story that we've been actually seeing on the ground in Alexandra. But again, they keep on voting, but there is no positive results according to them. But it's evident from what we have seen in Alexandra, services continue to lack, they continue to be quite slow. And that's the message that they are actually saying in Alexandra, to say that it looks like we are a forgotten people. Can then this government take us seriously when we actually bring out our concerns when it comes to service delivery?
Report, my colleague there, Maageketla Mohlabe.